TikTok have tried very, very hard to prove that they are sort of cleaner than clean in this situation. I think they're very, very well aware of the cultural baggage that comes with their app, and they're trying all they can to do this. They do have significant missteps, including tracking journalists, which is abhorrent and terrible and very much a bad own goal. But I haven't yet seen any evidence of the bat phone to Xi Jinping, and I have been trying to look for that. Like I'm one that wants that scoop, but I haven't been able to find it yet.
Might be over dignifying what I do a little bit. Chris Stokel-Walker is a journalist. He's also an author of the book TikTok Boom, China, the US, and the Superpower Race for Social Media. So really is an expert on all of this. Morning, Chris.
Good morning, Stig.
It feels like TikTok. There's a sort of groundswell opinion that it's more and more dangerous. We've heard Rishi Sunak, he's not ruling out banning it for government offices. I've just seen in Australia, I think it's being banned for people who work in government there in New South Wales. Tom Tugendhat didn't rule out the prospect of it being banned entirely, the Trumpian approach to it. Is this all fair, this worry about TikTok?
It is interesting because obviously, as you say, there has been a head of steam around this sort of thing, and so far there are kind of multiple people in multiple theatres shouting fire, but there seems to be no actual fire as yet. When the European Commission decided that it was going to ban TikTok from its devices for officials, I asked them, as a journalist, whether I should be worried and if I should also remove TikTok from my phone, and got no answer either way. So there is this kind of absence, I suppose, of evidence here as yet. And it was notable, as you say, Tom Tugendhat said he was asking the NCSC, the kind of GCHQ cybersecurity team, to look into this, which was fascinating because in the Sunday Times this weekend there was a report that this had already been banned from government devices, which seems to maybe have been putting the cart a little bit before the horse there.
And is the absence of evidence and evidence of absence or not, I suppose, is the question. Can we actually work out what the problem here is? Is it just because China ultimately owns TikTok, however much they pretend they don't? And China, we know, does abuse people's rights. We know that it abuses people's information rights. We know that it is an authoritarian state, and it has picture technology, and it observes its citizens in a way that other countries don't do. So it is a logical conclusion that must follow. Or is that unfair because we've never actually... Do we actually need to see some evidence of a problem before we respond?
I personally think we need to see some evidence, and it's largely because we give so much of our data already to these big tech platforms, whether or not they are based in China or originate from China, or whether they are based in Silicon Valley or originate from Silicon Valley. And so I think there is a right concern around this, and sometimes I think these two things get intertwined. You can simultaneously think that China is a terrible, terrible state that ethnically cleanses some of its population, that has huge crackdowns on its general populace, and is generally being a menace in and around the whole world, including South China Sea, and also starting to sort of insert itself a little bit in Ukraine on the wrong side of history here, but simultaneously think that actually TikTok is relatively innocuous or similar in many ways to other social media platforms, and should probably be treated as such. And for what it's worth, TikTok have tried very, very hard to prove that they are sort of cleaner than clean in this situation. I think they're very, very well aware of the cultural baggage that comes with their app, and they're trying all they can to do this. They do have significant missteps, including tracking journalists, which is abhorrent and terrible and very much a bad own goal. But I haven't yet seen any evidence of the bat phone to Xi Jinping, and I have been trying to look for that. Like I'm one that wants that scoop, but I haven't been able to find it yet.
Just before you go, then the other issue around TikTok is, I suppose, the impact on children, because it is very much... it's what my daughter uses. She's 14. I'm sure my son, he's 11. When he gets a bit older, will use it more. We've been talking a bit this morning about this problem of social media and phones for kids. Rishi Sunak's given his kid a phone at the age of 12, and that tends to be where people do it. Is that overblown, or is that fair enough? Is TikTok the same as other social media devices when it comes to the risk to our emotional well-being and that of our children?
I think it's more addictive in the sense of you are much more immersed in the app. So unlike YouTube, when you can kind of scroll out of the app and look at other things, TikTok is full screen vertical video. It is an endless scroll of content, so you can't avoid it, much like Twitter in many ways with the endless scroll. And so I think it is addictive, but I also think that all social media is addictive. These companies build their businesses on capturing our attention and monetizing it, so they'd be doing a pretty bad job if they weren't trying to get it. So yes, I think we need to be cautious about kind of the age at which we give children access to smartphones. No, I don't think that you would be a brilliant parent if you said, no, you can't have TikTok, but yes, you can have Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, all of those sorts of things.
Yeah, it's an interesting and constant battle, all of this, isn't it? Chris, great to speak to you. Thank you for joining us. That's Chris Stokel-Walker there, who's a journalist and author expert on matters TikTok, like us, Asma.